The Darrell Brooks trial and apathy. For those that remember, um, after the verdict of Kyle Rittenhouse being shown to be not guilty, Darrell Brooks, aka Math Boy Fly, ran through in his car, allegedly after being knifed and all this other bullshit. I reported that as well because I was trying not to be racist. But it turned out racism is real. But, as much as I've talked about race versus ethnicity. But, and he killed innocent children. And it was something that made a lot of people's blood boil. Lefties in general didn't talk about it because they knew what it would look like, so they didn't cover it. They would cover Kyle Rittenhouse immensely and say, oh my gosh, how dare he cross state lines and all that. But when it comes to Darrell Brooks running over children and killing them, white children mostly, nobody says a word. And the only ones that were covering this issue, of course, turned out to be the TRS guys. The TRS guys were the only ones that really tried to make an effort at trying to talk to Darrell Brooks before the media really got to him. And eventually they were shut out. There's an apathy that exists in this country. There's an apathy that just, it runs through everything. Where we all give just enough of a fuck. But there's that line that we won't cross. I think about it today. Working in an apartment complex and really just kind of being on the orbit of a lot of it. I haven't directly gotten involved, luckily. For the most part. The issue was this. This lady has a vehicle that had a flat tire and basically said they're going to tow her car, or tow her boyfriend's car, whatever the fuck it is. Anyway, I'll cut to the chase. Basically, it's like, well, can y'all go over there? It's like, and fill up her tire or something like that, or she may ask y'all or something like that. We'll just say our compressor's broken. Fuck that bitch, you know. But to give you an idea of the apathy, as long as, for the most part, you and I live comfortably or whatever, then there's no issue. And the apathy runs deep. Plenty of videos out there of white folks getting beat up by black folks and all this sort of thing, and white folks getting killed by black folks. And as much as I talk about race versus ethnicity, the Darrell Brooks case is definitely going to make me question that. I just saw Nick Rekieta's video where he's going to be representing himself. For those that know, he was, I believe, numerous charges, prostitution, guns, shit like that Darrell Brooks has been charged with before. He's not a good guy. I'll just put it that way. Regardless of race. But these issues are nothing new, is that you'll see, various folks get convicted of murder, and then they're released within the next couple, of years. Now, of course, I could go full-on Wignat and just be like, oh, my basketball Americans or something like that. But I know, ultimately, what's that going to do? It's just going to alienate me from everybody else, and then where would I be at? And that's the sad thing about it. That's the sad issue that we are in today, where we have to concern ourselves with just our little lives, and we don't. And we've been atomized to the point where we just worry about what we need to do and not concerned about larger issues at hand. That's the issue with, and that's the conundrum of the internet. The false dichotomy of it all. Well, not even dichotomy, it's just the false pretenses of all this knowledge, and yet we are still very, very stupid and ignorant. Because we would prefer to listen to our own biased people that we like, right? Lefties, who are of a certain age or whatever, would prefer to listen to Vosh or to Bo the Fifth Column or whomever else, instead of trying to look at it for what it is, Much the same way as there are right-wing people who would rather just listen to, I don't know, whomever you want to choose, whether it's PragerU, not to say, PragerU is some shining example, but, and of course you can say it's information silos or echo chambers or whatever you want to say. But the point is that it's easier that way because you just don't listen to the shit you don't want to hear. Or to the nonsense. For me at this point, it is what it is. But there's a lot of apathy. And it's sad because I feel inside of myself. I think this is a genuine feeling. But I'm not sure anymore. Which is even worse. But I wish I could be angry at the result of Darrell Brooks and hope that he does spend the rest of his life in jail or, was murdered or something like that. Not to say, Fedpo, sorry, but, only in the game Scarface from, 2003, I wish he was murdered like, Scarface in 2003, For those that know that, I think that was a PS2 game. It was like Grand Theft Auto, but, they just made it into Scarface. Anywho. I wish I could be more angry and upset. And there are some times when my blood does get to boil about some of these things, but I don't know where to go from here, but it's very fucked up and goes to show just how destroyed we are. And like I say, I've said this for a while, but I can't speak for the rest of the world, but I'll speak for Americans. It's just like, yeah, we're gone. We're so fucked up, we don't even know what way is up and what way is down anymore. It's just tiring, It's just tiring because you're just so... You just want to be so done with it, And I don't, like I say, I don't advocate for, ending your life or anything like that. It's just in a different way of just like you're just so over a lot of this stuff. And you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't. Because, I wish I could be like some of these folks and just live in a fantasy and party, but it's just like, it's all around you. We just don't see it in the same, We keep it at arm's length. And we don't have to be involved with it, You hear about shootings or you hear about deaths and you just say to yourself, well, I'm not going to get involved with that. And it's unfortunate, this level of apathy that we have attained. You'll see murders and suicides and people being addicted to, meth or to oxycodone or whatever, and we all just kind of look the other way because it's not affecting us or our direct family. I think that's the cruel way that this system is that they would rather, when it's talked about and when it's shown, we can't believe it. It's hard to really explain into words, I think, for me. Maybe because I'm just retarded, which is true, but I can't even really get to my feelings, to be honest with you. But anyway, I think I'm going a lot of dead air here, but it's just hard to feel at this point, You just don't want to feel true emotion, I think that's very scary. You just don't want to. You just don't want to feel those things, Maybe that's a certain way where it's like I'm watching a video about something and I just start to cry. And I don't know why. I don't even say that trying to be edgy or trying to sound weird or something like that. That's genuinely true. And you can go ahead and say, what the fuck is wrong with you? And, I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to, this is my therapy session to y'all. But I may see if I can try to get a video that they don't copyright strike me. And do the Beto O'Rourke, or the Robert O'Rourke and Greg Abbott debate that's going to occur. If it works out, if it does, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I may do it just as a lark to see what's going to happen. But yeah. Anyway, see you later. Goodbye.